Hey guys, what's up? Big thank you to both Eric and Nick, aka Edgar and Symbolic. My word, you've answered a lot of my questions that I had. I took time to watch the video series that Eric sent me information on. The Red, I think it's Red Beckerman. I'll put a link up to it. It was a 2-hour video. It was, a 12-part series, and it answered so many questions that I actually had in my mind, and it gave me a better understanding of an interpretation of what the Constitution was meant to be about and what power you actually do have as American citizens. I think it's something that should be taught to every child in American schools. I don't think, as Americans, you realise the power that you have, or the gift that you've been given by those thoughtful people at that age. When you was talking about, it was a document of its time, I now agree with you on that. I now would say that yes, the original Constitution was flawed, but only because of the limitations of the mind. As we learn new things and move forward, who knows? Maybe there will have to be other amendments made to it, but it shouldn't really. It should be for the good of everybody. If you get a chance to watch that video series, watch it. It is a bit long, to be honest. I'm really surprised that I actually sat down and watched the entire thing. But when it got started on it, it actually was quite interesting if you are into this type of thing and have if you want to understand it. So I'm really grateful for that. It's raised a few other questions that I had, and I don't know. I'm still trying to digest everything that was said. When Symbolic was talking about religion in the Constitution, I have to be honest. I never really thought of America not being a Christian country. I'm agnostic, but you're right. You're obviously right that it isn't a Christian country, and even though people would like us to believe it, it's funny how things are interpreted in different ways by different people. One of the other video series that I watched was by I think it's the actor John Quaid. I think I've got that right. And he was talking about being a sovereign being, and that gave me some ideas. But he was talking from a religious perspective, being a Christian. Maybe that's where I got that idea from, but that's a whole different thing. A lot of different stuff that other questions that have been raised by it, and maybe that's some ideas for future videos, because I could ramble on and on. It wasn't planned, obviously. It's just a response. The thing about tax on there, don't get me wrong, I haven't got a problem paying tax if it is used for the purposes of the furtherance of my country, or the good of the nation, or if it helps my local area. this is a whole different subject. So maybe this should be on a different video. But don't get me wrong, I don't mind paying tax. But what I am alarmed about, and one thing that I've realised due to the kind of credit crunch what you've obviously got in the States and we certainly have here in the UK, is our tax money doesn't actually go to paying directly the local economy, like fixing roads, like schools and hospitals. It doesn't go there. It goes to the banks to pay our national debt. I was really shocked by that. I'm sure I haven't got that wrong. There's one thing that really alarmed me. That is a whole different subject and quite a big subject there. It goes to, and where do we get the money to fix the roads? The government borrow more money from the banks. There's loads of videos and of how this actually works. Actually, I've got a few playlists in my channel relating to this, because I really am interested in economics and actually how money works, because anybody who has done a bit of research into this knows that money doesn't exist. It's just like an IOU on there. But yeah, thanks very much for your responses. I will get back to both of you with further questions, I'm sure, especially the second part of Symbolic's video, when he was talking about like the Roman Empire and the idea of democracy in there. That's really interesting to me. It's not something I've really looked into. I understand that that's where everything comes from, but I will make a separate one for that. But cheers.